So, folks, we got to talk about Ilhan Omar. So, tonight, she held a town hall event speaking about what is happening here in Minnesota, obviously, speaking to her constituents. And we're going to watch through that. But towards the end of her town hall, a man ran up and appeared to try and be spraying her with something from a syringe. We'll I just want you to know that is going to be happening in this video. She is okay, and in fact, you'll see that she reacts very quickly and forcefully to the situation, and I think it really reveals her character as a fighter. And we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at all of this, and then we will talk about kind of how we got here, where things are going, etc. But I figure this is an excellent opportunity for us to take a look at the message that this man was trying to silence. You know, we'll take a look at what was so odious that he felt he had to attack her. And let's find out.
Together, and I am really delighted for the showing from local electeds who represent the constituents that we get to represent on a federal level. I want to start by recognizing the fact that on January 24th, ICE agents murdered another member of our community. Alex Jeremy Preddy was an ICU nurse at the Minneapolis VA. He was an avid outdoorsman, a U.S. citizen. He was an incredibly compassionate person who cared for others countlessly. This is what he appeared to be doing just before being murdered, protecting another observer that was being attacked by ICE agents. Alex's murder by federal agents was not accidental or isolated. We witnessed this during the murder of Renee Good by federal agents. ICE's reckless and lawless actions have taken a mother from 3 children, a partner from a wife, and inflicted unfathomable pain on our community. Similar to Alex and Renee, they were exercising their First Amendment right, an act that this administration has deemed a capital offense. Renee Good should be alive. Alex Preddy should still be alive. Please, let's take a moment of silence for Alex and Renee. Thank you. My deepest condolences go out to Alex and Renee's family, friends, and everyone who knew and loved them. We will not stop fighting until we achieve real justice and accountability. The level of violence, federal overreach, lawlessness carried out in the name of immigration enforcement is unprecedented. U.S. citizens are being assaulted and detained. Minnesotans are expected to carry their citizenship papers. People are dying in ICE custody. This administration has reduced any semblance of due process.
I just want to take a moment here, since she's talking about people in ICE custody. We're going to talk about this in more depth later on tonight, but I wanted to share with you guys a video taken by Eric Lee, an immigration attorney from the Texas-based Dilley facility, just the other day. Here he is outside of that facility.
I'm outside. It doesn't say out here. And I've just been ordered to leave the premises. And she's yelling at me right now, so I'm gonna head back to my car and try and keep you abreast of the situation.
So that is women and children inside of the Texas Dilley facility screaming to be let out. So we know when Ilhan Omar is talking about the depraved nature of what's happening here, of these detentions, it's I feel honestly like she's underselling it a bit.
Sending people out of state to prevent them from having legal representation. Doors are being broken down without judicial warrants. Chemical irritants, pepper balls, flashbangs are being used without a second thought. DHS is thriving in secrecy, obscuring the conditions my constituents are being held in. This is not the America we know. This is not the America we love. Every Minnesotan has a right to feel safe and welcomed. Earlier this month, I co-led a hearing with Representative Chaya Paul on Trump's deadly assault on Minnesota. We welcomed 27 members of Congress to hear from witnesses on what has been happening on the ground and raise the alarm. Trump and his paramilitary immigration enforcement will not get away with their unlawful attacks on our state. The Constitution is on our side, and we will fight every single day to defend it. As it's been said, real justice and accountability starts with full, transparent investigation and legal action against ICE, followed by the abolishment of the agency. ICE cannot be reformed. It cannot be rehabilitated. We must abolish ICE for good. And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Resign or face impeachment.
So, after calling for the abolition of ICE, this man in the front row, right here, stands up, sprays her with something.
Kristi Noem must resign or face impeachment.
I can't really make out what he's saying, but you can see that initially she steps back and then she goes in for a punch. She goes in swinging.
I don't know.
Oh my God. Oh my God, he sprayed something on her.
I need a napkin to know nothing. No, we will continue.
No. Ilhan, you need to go get checked. No,
we will continue. These fucking assholes are not going to get away with it.
you need to go get checked. No, you don't know what he did. No. That's whatever it is smells so bad. She needs to go get checked. I don't know
that's
what that
that's
was.
what they want. Please don't let them come.
It's not about him, Ilhan. It's not about him. It's about your safety. No, he sprayed something on you. You need to go get checked. Yeah, and it smells terrible.
We're gonna keep talking. Just give me 10 minutes. Just give me 10 minutes. I beg you. Please don't let them have the show. 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 Here is the reality that people like this ugly man don't understand.
What a goddamn queen.
We are Minnesota strong, and we will stay resilient in the face of whatever they might throw at us. Everybody settle down. I'm going to finish my remarks. It is important for me to continue to lead my Democratic colleagues in demanding her resignation. And like I said, if she does not resign, we are going to introduce articles of impeachment.
One of the few Democrats who has a spine.
This moment in U.S. history, and particularly in Minnesota, requires all of us to be working together to preserve our democracy. When we say we are going to put our lives on the line for what is our right, we mean that. Last week, my Republican colleagues put forth a Homeland Security funding bill that includes $28 billion for ICE and Border Patrol. I refuse to greenlit funding for a rogue agency that ICE escalates violence, operates above the law, and opposes our most basic freedoms. I've already stated tonight, ICE is shooting people in broad daylight, beating up teenagers, spraying tear gas on peaceful protesters.
I do just want to point out, weirdly enough, despite not having 8 grown men armed with guns, they were able to subdue a guy. Seems like only 2 burly dudes were able to, without firing a gun, subdue a guy who just attacked a sitting member of Congress. Seems weird, right? That the agency with billions of dollars is given the utter bullshit power of being able to kill whoever they want, no questions asked. But I guarantee you, if one of these security guards pulled a gun and shot a guy, they'd be getting charged with murder.
Ripping people out of their cars and homes without warrant, racially profiling people based on their accent, taking kids from schools and abducting people, shipping them far away detention camps with brutal conditions and no due process. We cannot treat this
like what a badass. She just got attacked and she's still standing up and speaking out. Like what, like God level composure.
As business as usual. That's why I led the entire Congressional Progressive Caucus in opposing this bill. And we as a caucus adopted an official position, and now we have gotten all of the Democratic senators to agree to that position and hold ICE accountable.
I mean, I guess if that guy was ICE, they'll find out, right?
But this president's lawlessness does not stop with ICE and border enforcement. We are seeing how he's threatening Greenland and Venezuela and Iran and Cuba and Colombia. He has already taken lives in the Caribbean, and we wanted to pass a war powers resolution to hold him accountable. We are hoping for our Republican colleagues to grow a backbone and come on the right side of history. The last DC update I will mention before I take questions from you is that the House took up legislation from Minnesota member Representative Stauber that would open up hundreds of thousands of acres in our beautiful Boundary Waters to mining development.
Boo.
The Boundary Waters is the most visited wilderness in the U.S. It features peaceful, remote areas, one of the world's largest dark sky sanctuaries, and it is home to unique ecosystems, including several endangered species. And my beautiful children go hiking there and canoeing, and so it is personal to me to preserve it, not just as Minnesotan, but as a mom. Many of my colleagues here, especially Councilwoman Warren, mentioned the fact that constituent work is the backbone of what we do as your representatives. And it is no different because we are your liaison for the federal government. Our staff can please raise their hand if they're in the room. These people work for you. We can be a crucial line of advocacy for our constituents who are experiencing issues with the federal government, like irregularities, delays, and emergencies. Although it is a difficult environment we are working in right now, our duty remains the same. My district office phone line is monitored from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Congressional casework involving ICE is unique and narrow, but we can help with locating an individual detained by ICE if they are not appearing in a detainee-located system within 48 hours.
I do want to say, this is actually very helpful. Like, there are so many people who are disappearing, and, like, people just cannot find them, and who knows where the hell they end up around the country. A 20-point shift tonight in Minnesota's state seat special election, won by the Democrat by 71 points in 2024. Tonight, won by 91%. Oh, dog. Ooh. Ooh. Let's keep up that momentum, folks. We need to win. We need folks to turn out in 2026 this year so that we can start setting things to right. We need to take advantage of this massive swing.
Inquiring on urgent medical issues to ensure an individual is receiving appropriate medical treatment. Ensuring an individual's attorney or loved ones are able to communicate with them. And importantly, our office cannot provide legal advice or assistance. If you are unsure whether we can help with a specific issue, please contact my office at 612-333-1272. I'll repeat that again, 612-333-1272. And we will...
Oh god, that is one thing I had not considered until just now, Paladin, seeing your comment. The MyPillow guy is not going to be able to win anything in Minnesota. Holy fuck, people hate Republicans right now here.
Review whatever detail you want us to review. So far, we have worked on 800 cases with issues like Social Security, immigration, taxes, healthcare, and more. Our team has returned more than $4.8 million to our constituents, businesses, and organizations in the district. Like I said, we might not be able to solve every problem, but we will definitely make sure we do everything that we can to try.
Was there ever a risk of him winning, though? I mean, not a big one, but also Republicans in Minnesota, like, you know, Democrats in Minnesota are built different. Republicans in Minnesota are also built different, and they're very crazy. Like, they are very fucking crazy. We saw just the other day, the guy who dropped out of the GOP side of the governor race, that guy is Jonathan Ross's lawyer. He literally put out a 10-minute video, and throughout the entire thing is just talking about how, like, well, conservatives are right about everything, but, you know, this ICE stuff has maybe gone a little bit too far. And I just gotta say, like, the only reason he's dropping out is because he saw some internal polling numbers about how him being related to, like, defending an ICE agent who did a murder here was gonna go. So, like, I guarantee you that he only did it because he saw which way the political winds are blowing, and it's not in his way. The 2024 GOP candidate for U.S. Senate said, the bad guys won World War II. They're insane. They are, genuinely, though, like, the GOP candidates here who are able to succeed only do so because they are absolutely mental. Like, just off-the-wall mental. And my hope is that the current moment has effectively killed all of their chances at victory, but we'll see.
Lastly, I want to congratulate a winner of something fun that we do in Congress, which is last year's Congressional App Challenge in the 5th. The app challenge is intended to engage students in grades 6 through 12 to create innovative apps that address real-life issues in our community. I am pleased to announce that my office selected, it's a hard name, okay. People say I have a hard name, but oh my goodness, okay. Vet Bastodkar and his app, Brett Head, as the winner of the 2025 competition. Fed's app is youth-centered personal finance app built to challenge the culture of instant gratification through reflection and accountability. Fed is a sophomore at the Blake School in Minneapolis. He is fascinated by math, economics, participates in DECA, Model United Nations, and is a captain of his fencing team. Please help me in congratulating Fed.
God, she's such a badass.
Oh yeah, say your name the correct way.
Yeah, my name is Ved Bastodkar, VEDBASTODKAR.
You made it sound a lot easier.
I mean, I say it every day, right?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ted. Is this his? No. All right, with that, we'll take questions.
First of all, thank you for staying after that incident.
I learned at a young age you don't give in to threats. You look them in the face and you stand strong. They pick the wrong person every day.
She was literally jumping for that guy's throat. Like I don't think anyone wants to mess with Ilhan Omar. I think she will genuinely cut a bitch.
Where's your mic? Right here.
I do not know the level of Congress. Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah,
I do not know the level of power Congress has over ICE, but is there anything you as representative could make efforts to try and lead to the arrest of Jonathan Ross and the multiple ICE officers that killed Alex earlier this week?
They were CBP, not ICE.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, the law enforcement with the Department of Homeland Security, obviously there are investigations, even if the federal government has chosen not to fully comply in having a transparent investigation. I know Keith Ellison's office, our Attorney General. I know that our district attorney, Mary Moriarty, others have already started the investigations. And, you know, as Keith reminds us every single day, murder is not something that has a statute of limitation.
I do have to say, I do enjoy that our Attorney General here in Minnesota is just every single day talking about, like, murder doesn't have a statute of limitations. We're gonna get these bastards. I do appreciate that about our Attorney General. It's nice to have some faith restored that, like, we as working people aren't going to be the only ones that remember who was taken from us.
And so regardless of what these people think, we're going to make sure that they are held accountable in every way that we can.
Hi. There's so many ways to help. And one of the things I was thinking of is we have our own MPD that is stretched so thin. Is there anything that we can do to help them? I mean, could we bring in snacks to the office? You know, just...
Oh, boy. I mean, yeah, you could bring your local cops some donuts. Like, yeah. But I feel like the needs of local law enforcement are not the forefront need right now. Like, people don't need additional arms of the state that are going to beat them in the streets right now. That's actually not super helpful at the moment. Oh no, cops are beating me and abducting me. You know what will save us? More cops, said no one ever. But you know what? I like that lady showed up and asked her question. I wish all of us were showing up to every single one of these town halls. You know, she showed the fuck up. If that kind-hearted lady who wants to bring donuts to her local cops can show up, so can you guys. That's why it's really important for you guys to get organized with your local Dems and your local DSA. It is good to make sure that you are in the room so that you can redirect away from bad ideas like that and towards more productive actions like getting involved with local like pantry and like driver services right now. You know, like, she's there because she has a good heart and she doesn't know what to do. And that's why a lot of folks here who do have great ideas and also kind hearts need to seek to be in the room so that you can like gently like offer correction, gently like guide the conversation in a more productive way, you know? So folks, I'm asking you once again, join your local Dems, join your local DSA. If you are interested, join our Discord, reach out to GamerG for help joining and making your DSA more effective. And reach out to Dragonfly for help radicalizing your local Dems towards more and more progressive action, because we really need more people in the room making that case. Okay? And for those who have mobility issues, just want to remind you guys, most of these meetings are also available digitally. You can attend them remotely. Don't let that stop you. So again, join the Discord, reach out to GamerG for help with DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. We've got so many people who've gotten involved so far. It's really exciting. And folks, please get involved. For the love of God, we need to organize locally now more than ever before, not just because of midterm stuff, but because we need to put on local pressure to keep one another safe from ICE. Okay? It is literally the best time right now to get involved.
If you want a good gift for someone in emergency services, hand warmers. Get them every Christmas from my cousin who's a paramedic.
Yep, those are excellent gifts to give folks. Also, they're just fun. Red Rudy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Let's finish this up.
Anything that
Dragonfly, is there links? Here's a link to the Discord. You just have to Dragonfly once you're in the Discord. Dragonfly is one of the people in our community who has graciously volunteered her time and effort to help you guys get involved with your local Dems and give you some direction to help you figure out how to take things once you're in there.
that might help them feel better or appreciated. And along those lines, we also have the National Guard now coming in. And so we could apply that to them as well. You know, showing up with coffee, or is there something we can do?
You know, I will say one thing that ICE has succeeded in doing is make Minneapolis residents love Minneapolis police.
I mean, that is true.
I know things have been hell in your state for the last couple of days. To cheer my favorite streamer up, here are a couple of pictures of Leo growing up fast. Peepo hug wide, Peepo happy.
I do like pictures of Leo, though they're not loading. I think you missed the link for Leo, but thank you for the $5 dono. We'll take a look at him after this segment if we get the link.
I say that with the utmost respect.
If you're afraid of ICE and you get approached instead by not ICE, that is a big improvement, I guess.
That's only thing that they have succeeded in doing. No, I mean, it's been beautiful to really see our National Guard passing out donuts and coffee to people at Whipple. Any way in which you can show your gratitude. I think, what has been the most important piece for all of us is, one, to remain united. Two, not to just feel grateful for those who are out there, but to feel grateful for everyone who is out there, because Minnesotans are showing up for one another in ways that people didn't expect, and we are showing the country and the world what real solidarity looks like. And we should be goddamn proud of ourselves for that. So yes, whether you are showing up to say thank you to protesters and people who are documenting, or saying thank you to those that are keeping the peace, whether it is the sheriff's office or MPD, I would encourage it. I would assume that would be fine with them. Well, yes, obviously you wanna make sure they're not scared that you're trying to poison them or something.
Yeah. Also, that some conservative media ghoul is going to clip this and be like, Ilhan Omar advocates for her constituents to poison cops. And she's literally just being like, yeah, it's fine to give your local police food. Just don't make it weird. Don't be like, here, officer, these are very not poisoned donuts. Don't do that. Don't be weird about it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Thanks, Melanie. We'll look at it after the segment.
I'm just curious, we've seen now multiple cities be invaded by ICE, and it seems as though they've left, right? LA, Portland. Do we have any sort of understanding of is there a quota that they have to meet, or a certain time? How can we grasp when they could potentially leave, when their whatever objective has been fulfilled?
So what we do know now is that there is some agreement, we don't have the full details, that Border Patrol will leave. It is my understanding, you mentioned being overwhelmed, there's 5,000 of federal law enforcement that has besieged not just our city, but our state. And so it is my understanding that those that are tasked to control the border, exercising the 100-mile rule for Minneapolis, at least will leave. And the timeline was today, so they might have already gone. I saw reporting about 800 of them have already left. And so we'll be tracking that to see how many more of them leave. Generally, the way ICE used to operate is that there's two kinds, and you've seen, our corrections department clarify this. You've seen Hennepin County talk about it. Generally, there are two paths. One is that someone has been adjudicated. They were arrested for a crime. If their crime is a felony, and they were not a U.S. citizen, oftentimes they would finish their sentence, because they committed the crime against us and we want them held accountable. And then once their sentence ends, the corrections would call and say, we have someone being released at this time, on this day, in the next week or month. And they basically turn them over in the parking lot. Now, that person obviously has the right to ask for a judge to prolong the time they're here, to contest their removal. Sometimes you hear these stories of people who've been green card holders for 30 years. They came here as a baby sometimes. And so those removals take a long time, but they are in ICE detention as they're going through those. We also used to have before, maybe 6-7 months ago, law that said you couldn't indefinitely detain people if they did not have an actual crime that they were being detained for. And we know that immigration in itself, a violation of immigration is not a crime in itself. So the other way, which is kind of what they're saying they're doing now, which is not the way it's supposed to be done. Normally, the way it gets done is that you have an order of removal for someone, and you try to find out where that person might be. You do surveillance, you talk to, known people to them, you find their previous employment, you find a way, and then they do those raids early in the morning, 6 a.m., where people are not really out, trying to find the person in that home or in that business that they thought they might be in. And so we do know that the way that this is being carried out, and you've seen the incidents in where, they're literally jumping out of a car or breaking a car window or trying to get into somebody's space, that is not enforcement. That is terrorizing. That is terror. And those are not the kind of tactics we are known.
Is it true that Biden began the investigation into Ilhan's marriage and that Trump refused to close? Cedar said a thing about it. Odd to recall now that Biden was briefly president. Unreal, distant. Again, as far as I know, the most comprehensive review of her history indicates that she did not marry her brother, and that's again just a completely made up conservative lie. So that's, as far as I know, that's where things stand. I haven't ever heard of Biden opening an investigation into it, or Trump doing an investigation of it, other than Trump obviously hates her and will say whatever the fuck he wants. So, but I don't know why we should attach any kind of truth claim to that,
To have in our cities. Those are the kind of tactics we're known to have cities outside of the United States where people are brutalized. And so that's why we've been so opposed to it. We'll do right there.
Hi, I just wanted to first say thank you so much for all you're doing for us. I'm just so proud that you're our representative, so thank you. And I'm just wondering, what can we do to maybe get some of your colleagues to have the same fire you have? It's really incredibly disheartening to see folks saying we need body cams on ICE. So
this person's so real for saying it. But also, yeah, no, they are trying to sling mud about Ilhan Omar being oh, she got into the country illegally by marrying her brother. That's the claim, and it's, as far as I can tell, complete and utter horse shit. So, of course they're trying to dig up dirt, but it's stupid as hell. Don't give it any more oxygen. It should have died almost instantly, back in 2018, and it's only stuck around. It's so goddamn stupid.
Or just more training. That's really, really discouraging, and I want to see more folks follow your lead. So what can we do to put the pressure on them?
Yeah. I think we're seeing that. I mean, certainly for my Democratic colleagues here that represent you all, collectively have felt the way that we are being terrorized and the fact that there aren't guardrails for there to be justice and accountability reminds them of the fact that many of us have been saying this since ICE was created. When it was with DOJ, there was more accountability. This version of it that we've now had to live with for a little over 20 years.
Yeah, God, all of the things. Can we just take a minute? All of the things that were introduced during the Bush administration have just been absolutely awful. We've been living in the rubble of all of the insanely fascistic legislation and military fuck-ups and assaults on our general liberty for the past 26 years, 25 years. It has been absolutely disgusting, and we are still dealing with it. Yeah, the Patriot Act, we're still dealing with that shit. We occupied the Middle East and killed hundreds of thousands of people. For what? For literally nothing. And not only that, we're still living with ICE. We're still living with TSA. Neither of these things have ever made us safer. like, honestly, like, with ICE, it's like the trans bathroom shit, you know? When ICE was like a huge, not ICE, when the trans bathroom stuff was huge, like, the idea was like, oh, well, we're gonna pass a bill to stop trans people from using the bathroom they identify with. And it's like, well, like, you know, if you try to enforce that, it's gonna be like horrid. You know that, right? Like, you're gonna just be arresting random folks. You're just gonna be like, I don't know, like grabbing people you think don't look right. And like, that's exactly what has happened with ICE when it comes to immigration. And like, it is just fascist bullshit. Not to mention that the fact that like, what's happening in Gaza right now is a direct product of Gaza being treated as like the testing ground for all kinds of internal facing methods of control via tech and violence. And like what we're seeing right now with ICE like seemingly patching together their own like illegal database of people who are protesting them, like, it is sick. But we aren't the first people this has been done to. All of the tools they're using were refined in like the atrocities that our government enabled and supported over the past like 25 years. And I'm just like arbitrarily saying 25 years because you can go back a lot farther than that when it comes to a lot of other things. And like, man, just all the planets really aligned for these white supremacist pieces of shit. And now they're doing their ethnic cleansing and people hate it, you know, because the American people have developed like this, you know, consumer mentality of like, well, you know, I want to see my exact level of racism projected out of the world. But anything more than that, that's too much. You know, genuinely, that's what like a lot of the Republicans right now that are turning on ICE, that's where a lot of them are at. They're like, well, whoa, I was racist, but like, you guys, you're taking it to the next level, and I'm a little uncomfortable now. I'm a little uncomfortable seeing the logical end point of my ideology made manifest. It's so gross. And we're gonna have to spend like the next decade unfucking all of this. We're gonna have to spend the next decade systematically working to undo each and every one of these major reforms that the Bush administration put in place. It's going to be such difficult but necessary work, and we're going to have to keep up the vim and vigor that we have right now for opposing ICE for that entire time. So I hope y'all are ready to be in it for the long haul, because we cannot go back to sleep after this. Yeah, I mean, Brutus Magnus said, yeah, like, it's a... I'm homeowner association racist, not Gestapo racist. Indeed. Exactly. What does this have to do with what happened to Omar? Well, it's because folks like the guy who are willing to attack Ilhan Omar as she's talking about, you know, abolishing ICE and the need to, you know, kick out folks like Stephen Miller and Kristi Noem. Like, he's the direct product of all of that hatred. That guy didn't look that old. Like, he's just been stewing in this conservative, like, milieu of cultural touchstones where they've developed their own alternate reality based around white supremacy. And he's stewed in it to such a degree and has internalized the, you know, green light signals given to ICE over and over and over again, incredibly publicly, that he's willing to attack a member of Congress on camera in the middle of an event, in order to like try and make his political point that, you know, no Democratic politician that stands up to ICE is safe. You know, like that attack is very clearly meant as a threat, with the implication being we can do a lot worse to you than like throw a stinky liquid on you. This is an escalation, and like, frankly, anything less than a full-throated condemnation and a full-throated commitment to stopping all of the excesses of the Bush administration that made our current predicament possible. Like, when we're talking about abolishing ICE, we're talking about going after that legislation that was passed under Bush. And we shouldn't just stop with ICE. We should also abolish the Department of Homeland Security. We should also abolish TSA. We should also abolish a wide variety of these different, pieces of legislation. The Patriot Act, the green light to just unilaterally allow the president to make military strikes without the approval of Congress. There's so many different things that happened during that time that have set up all the dominoes that are currently falling right now. So it all is connected to what happened to Ilhan Omar. And she's handling it like a champ. Her attacker was 55. Damn, the prime Fox News age.
It's not a version that allows for.
Yeah, we also gotta like dismantle these like big tech companies like Palantir and Anduril.
Respect for our constitutional rights, and so I think they're doing it to themselves. They're showing these lawmakers the mistake that they made in voting for their existence, in voting to give them money, because what they are doing is just so blatantly lawless. So just keep sharing.
Earlier today, Trump said he supports the dollar's collapse. Yeah, because I guarantee you he's figured out some way to basically short the US dollar. Like, I guarantee you he's set up like some kind of investment that makes money when the US dollar loses value. I guarantee you that's why he supports it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were protesting. I didn't know if you were saying don't call on her.
I would like to say that I am very proud of you as our representative, and I am so glad that you are our leader. And I want to ask something on a very personal note. I am an immigrant. I came from the Philippines. I went and got everything that I was supposed to do. And I actually lived through the EDSA revolution. And I felt that if I could make it to the United States, I would be okay. At this moment, we didn't know how it was going to turn out, but we made a pledge, the Filipinos, that we would be there for each other. And I have seen you Minnesotans do the very same thing. And I'm very proud of you. And it is my honor to be with you. I'm asking on a very personal note. Some people, specifically me, some people did not go to their SNAP renewal. Some people didn't renew their medical because I want to be able to go home. And I have my certificate of naturalization. And the interview is supposed to be in person, but I don't know if I can make it back home. So my question is, this is some people, which is specifically me. And I didn't want to go because I'm not well behaved. And I'm not sure who would bail me out for causing good trouble. I would. So is there a way for us to submit papers? Is there a way for us? I know there's protocol, there's regulations, but where I'm supposed to go?
And just without a second thought, entire room being like, we got you.
Yeah.
And I can't outrun them. So I don't know. So if there's a way for us to do interviews, not in person. So I'm just asking. So I would like to have SNAP benefits. I would like to have medical.
Yeah, I hear you.
So that's my question. And I just want to ask, it's not just me, there's several of us.
And you live?
I
Am I your representative?
Yes, you
Okay,
are.
all right. Then I know where you live. Okay. They're just wondering if you're in a different area than. So, you know what? I have been in the United States a month short of 30. That is 90% of the amount of time that I've been alive. So I know people talk about me in Somalia. I don't know any home the way I know this home. And so I do feel a strong sentiment towards immigrants that find home in the United States. And I know that even though I'm a congresswoman, you know, even though I'm a citizen, like I carry my passport with me because I don't want to not be able to provide. And I know that in some cases that hasn't been enough. But to answer your question, is that there are mobile vehicles that you can schedule where they will come and do the interview in a place where you're comfortable to be able to take those interviews. And so check in with your caseworker and let them know how vulnerable you feel. I will also say, you know, again, Minnesotans were just amazing. There's so many mutual aid opportunities where people might be able to help you out in other ways as well. You know, people talk a lot about illegal immigration and criminal.
I think she's saying she's unable to get SNAP and healthcare because she's afraid of ICE, even though she's documented. That's exactly what she's saying. She is saying she's a naturalized American citizen who is too afraid to go to do her interview to continue receiving healthcare, continue receiving SNAP benefits. Because we've so means tested these programs that you need to be interviewed before you get SNAP. Another thing that our movement should be dedicated toward is abolishing these means testing of programs that people need to live. I'm sorry, it's awful that she is afraid to even go to these interviews, but she shouldn't have to go to an interview in the first place. She shouldn't have to deal with any of that shit.
But what this enforcement has truly done is frighten actual citizens and documented neighbors. The children that are afraid to go to schools, the mothers and fathers that are afraid to drop them off, you know, the elderly shop owners at Caramel Mall, they're all citizens. But they don't want the trauma of seeing men with heavy machine guns because that is who they escaped to come to the United States. They don't want to go through a checkpoint because that is what they escaped to come to the United States. They don't want a gun drawn on them asking for their identification because that's what they escaped to come to the United States. And so for me, that has been the hardest part to communicate to people because they just don't understand how terrifying it is, one, for just the average person who has never seen this level of weaponization. But it is also severely debilitating and triggering for people who have had machine guns drawn at them at a young age and who thought their only salvation was to find a country like ours, where they never have to worry about that because there's a constitution, it's known for its liberty and freedoms. And so it's truly heartbreaking, this moment we find ourselves in. But if we know anything about U.S. history, is that everything is temporary. And we will find our way out of this. So thank you all.
I do really like that she was able to provide that woman with like an actionable thing to fix her problem. Like, you can in fact work with your caseworker to get to get them to drive out there and do the interview. I think I think that it is good that she offered like actual tangible support and information that is important. And you know, this is what essentially Zoran Mamdani does, right? Like, Zoran Mamdani's entire social media strategy at this point is just showing up to let people know, in fun and creative ways, of course, that like, oh, hey, you can use your local library access in New York City to like rent out Heated Rivalry, or like you can make use of public restrooms. We're gonna build a bunch of toilets, like, you know, like actionable, useful things about the different things that he's doing and, you know, other people in the government are doing. And I like that she was able to do that. And I want you all to keep in mind that this is the conversation that man who attacked Ilhan Omar wanted to stop. He attacked her, sprayed her with that stinky liquid, specifically to try and put an end to this event, try to bully her, try to oppose her and silence her and stop this event from going forward. He did not reckon on the fact that Ilhan Omar was going to stand her ground and continue with the event and finish her piece. And I think it's a really wonderful thing to see. It's a really strong thing to see. And I think that the conversations that she was able to have because of it were worth it. I'm proud to be one of her constituents. And all that being said, folks, we need to organize to help get more elected politicians like Ilhan Omar. So join your local Dems, join your local DSA, and let's radicalize our Dems into people who actually have spines, and let's organize a coalition of working class folks in DSA, folks. So join the Discord, reach out to Gamergy for help with your local DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. And folks, remember to leave a like, comment on the video. Comments longer than 8 words apparently really help in the algorithm, so do that if you feel inclined. Subscribe, and last but not least, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes, tested on cis men, cis women, non-binary folks, non-tucking lingerie. Check it out. Link down in the doobly-doo. Let's keep on going, because we got a lot of work to do, folks.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube and swishy streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, dating, plenty more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat Jack.